Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Good evening. So I know you all have been pushing it, but at the moment we have from now on to stay totally silent because of negotiation, very sensitive. The Iranian delegation has just arrived today in Vienna, and the meetings are going on in the background, and no more time that now we need the support. We ask for Universal Council support and the knowledge seekers. We are at the front line of it, and we see a lot of problems, but at this moment of time we stay very quiet in the background and watch the delegation of 45 members of Iranian government and officials from Iranian nuclear industry are arrived in Vienna, headed by His Excellency and supported by His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. We have to stay very calm and collective that we see this through. The preliminary negotiation starts tomorrow, even though some meeting took place today as is in public domain. And we stay still on the advisory board, and we keep very much out of the way till the point of request by the Iranian government, the Keshe Foundation can be brought forward. The whole structure is very sensitive. We hope both sides, the Iranian Americans, come to understand is their nation's wealth and their nation's population which are to be benefited by this. And in so many ways, tomorrow we'll start, and as usual, we know what it'll be, the outset, and we'll see the actual outcome of what it starts after a week, because the Iranian government's structure is very solid till the sanctions are not withdrawn, or the ones which is put in by the last administration. We're going back to 2015 negotiations. Iran is now prepared to step back. And this is a big problem. And Keshe Foundation has put a proposal forward in writing to His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran on Friday in a 64-page document, and is carried by the chief negotiator into Vienna. We have to see if and how and when this will come into play. We stay very open, and the Keshe Foundation stays very quiet, as we have made to clarify a lot of things, because this way we can all step down and talk sense. On the other hand, nothing will be discussed, and we won't disclose anything till what we see is a proper way to negotiate. At the moment, negotiation is not correct and will not be correct when one party is standing in the background and not prepared to negotiate directly from line. And as I said, Universal Council members and knowledge seekers, we request your, what I call, attention and soul to the team of negotiators on all sides to become what I call enlightened, to see they're not there for personal or national reason, they're there for citizens. And this is more important than anything else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Can you offer any insight on what's happening with the passports in Austria?
What do you mean passports?
There were large protests. There's lockdowns.
We are not involved in that. The situation is very critical in Austria. The number of the infected are increasing. In reality, we do not know the figures. Nobody knows the figures. Government controls everything. And everything as before. We are on the lockdown till 10th of December, maximum has been said. And then on the first week or 1st of February, the vaccination becomes compulsory, but there are boundaries, national, what do you call it, legislations which cannot allow the government to go for it. And there are talks of all sorts, but everything changes the last minute. But at the moment, we are in a national lockdown, but companies, factories operate. We carry documents to show that we are going to work or coming from work or between work. And all the stores which are to do with the food, groceries and supermarkets are open as normal. And the only thing is you have to wear masks. And hotels and even restaurants at the moment are totally closed. And they serve what they call home deliveries. There's no restaurant open, but the point at the moment is the numbers are increasing on a daily basis. The death rate is increasing. But again, there's a very big question mark that the reason we got this 20 days of isolation is because most of the infections came through the people who were vaccinated. And most of the people who are reported dead are those who had double vaccination. 40% plus, and that's what it says. But more or less, government said even those who are vaccinated have to wear masks, and we are on a condition that even those who are vaccinated have to have a PCR test if they are going in. So all staff of the Keshe Foundation every Monday and every Wednesday get tested for a PCR, and with masks we operate as normal in the operation of our places. It took us 2 or 3 weeks to get everybody in line, but now we're back in line. As well, as long as we do the PCR twice a week for the time being, our production, we had 2 weeks of a bit of shaky start till we could get people back in everywhere. But that's where we are at the moment. And it's the same with every manufacturing production. But there is a big question mark which is not legally recognized by the governments in Europe, which is the only way, and actually the only way which confirms 100% if somebody has enough immune system to fight the disease, which is antibody counts are rejected to be accepted by the government. And this is a very, very, what do you call it, important for, will come in the future. Why the only solid scientific way to confirm that we have enough antibody to fight the disease is not getting accepted, unless there is another, what they call, hidden agenda in the whole structure. And this is one of the biggest questions at the moment, which is the only scientific blood count which proves that someone has antibody, which means they've been through the, what we call corona, or they have received the injection that is built up their corona antibody, or they have a natural antibody to any system, is refused. And this is one of the biggest questions will come very soon up around the world, that actually to us scientifically, the only thing which should be accepted is the antibody count, not the PCR. And we, all our staff more or less, except one or two, have tested for antibody. We know who's weak, we know who's had a strength, and who can stand, what do you call it, it has enough counts to stand the disease. But this is something most probably in next few months should be addressed, but they don't want to address it, but this way they cannot, what do you call it, they cannot play with figures, because there is no correct thing except the antibody counts, which tells you who is immune, who's not immune, and what is the level of immunity, and who needs vaccination. We don't, all of us don't test, we carry, we know more or less who we are, what we are, but vaccination is not. And now we're seeing it, a new version from Africa. What that's going to throw into the pot is another direction. The only solution we see, not because we are a Keshe Foundation, is a universal system that as the virus changes, we can't keep on changing vaccination, and even the old vaccination people had cannot stand the new one. This new one just overrides it. It is for a full definition of what a virus is and understanding it to solve it the way the Keshe Foundation is done. Sooner or later, maybe in 2 years, 10 years, it will turn that way. But at the moment, it's a field day for poor presidents to make $30 per injection. But Austria is under this manner. Holland and a few other countries in Europe are going for this vaccination, but vaccination is creating more people who are vaccinated, thinking are vaccinated, getting infected and carried everywhere. The PCR has to be compulsory for all, irrespective of vaccinated or not. Then we'll see what comes up. Riots are everywhere. It's not just Austria, in Holland, in other cities, in other countries, everybody's rioting not to have the injections, but there are a number of points which is very questionable, is why the politicians do not need to be vaccinated. So if the ministers, cabinet ministers, presidents don't get it, does it come with the title of the office? So everybody writes a president and they don't get it. Mayors are excluded, members of the parliament are excluded, civil servant, high-ranking civil servant excluded from vaccination. So if they don't get it, what is it? Is the office which has got, or a title which keeps you away? Up to now was borders. Now the titles apparently has some effect on who gets it or doesn't get it. We have a long, long story to go with this. You have to understand Rothschilds have written for 20 years all the government losses. Any pension they have to pay, any death penalties they have to pay, Rothschilds have guaranteed they pay to all the governments. And after 20 years, all the governments have to pay all this money is back. The 1930s, 40s was a gun policy, now is an injection policy. But at the end, it's the same way. Nothing has changed. But last time they got the Europeans, this time they got the whole world. All these debts has to be paid back by our children and grandchildren. You got to remember one thing, Tony Blair, the Prime Minister of England during his administration, has stashed away 18 billion euro as commission and bribes. Now you can understand how much is stolen by our leaders in commissions in their jobs. We have a president of a Middle Eastern country. In his time of presidency, he has stolen over 180 billion. $80 billion of it are in German mark sitting in containers in China. $30 billion of it started the cycle of Dubai becoming the center as it is. Anyway, we'll see how it comes up, but we're all in it in Europe, slowly one by one. Rothschild through Vatican is pushing it and they'll get it. The only thing is you move to the country which is not compulsory, but they're making it everywhere. The only place is, let's build the spaceships and we go 80 kilometers above, there are no laws. There's no nation, because once you get there, the earth will taste you because there's not all the nations.
There's a lot of focus recently in the mainstream media about spaceships and all the speculation that comes with that. Are they trying to preempt us?
I noticed that the Indian Bar Association is reporting that murder charges have been filed in India's High Court against 2 billionaires responsible for the AstraZeneca's COVID-19. One of them we know, I think Mr. Keshe has negotiated, and this was for the murder of a 23-year-old who was injected with the shot. One is Adar Poonawalla, and the other is Bill Gates. So India is just not laying down on this. Again, they may be able to make this go away or perhaps beat the charges, but the 23-year-old is obviously not the only one. I'm looking here at Dr. Shanhal Awat was also deceased because of this. So the Bar Association in India is not taking this laying down, let's say. Perhaps India will become a safe haven. I know they've used the other product that's a Nobel Prize winning product, and basically in one of the largest states, or the largest state in India, has totally wiped out any of the problem that they were having within a very short period of time.
Space is the place.
Yes, a distinct possibility. It's already been conveyed to us. I guess we'll let the planet struggle in the physicality until they're ready, realizing the solution is 80 kilometers away or above the planet.
The solution lies within us all. There's nowhere to go. You cannot escape anything.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Cash, for giving us an update. And I know you had said that we had about 3 days to enlighten the negotiators. I was thinking we obviously want to continue this for a period of time. We're not going to throw in the towel yet. I know that you said the negotiations, we wanted them concluded by sometime in December, but officially they conclude sometime near the end of March. So I think we will continue our soul enlightenment of the others, that they can see the benefit, and we'll have a beautiful resolution come out of these negotiations. Okay, very well. Anyone else want to add anything else or ask a question, perhaps? Not so much about the negotiations, as Mr. Keshe said, he wants to remain sort of quiet about this right now. It's a very delicate situation. But is there anything else anyone else would like to add? It's after midnight in Europe. Not that that's a
There is a question
limiting
in the chat,
factor.
Mark.
Okay. Let's see, we are present. Oh, I have a question regarding the projects. Where can we find information about the bases to participate? Thank you all very much. Where can, Alenka also says, where can we, the first one was from Liliana, and the second one, Alenka, where can we find the requirements for the projects that can be submitted for research to the Keshe Foundation? Perhaps someone would.
Yes, we will set out. We have brought in a consultancy group, which will set this out by January, and we'll take it up from there on. The committee will be set up to decide, and all the things will be announced as we said from January. At the moment, everything is getting set up for this, and it has to be at least a research of 3 people in a group, not single person. It's not a PhD that you do it on your own. It's a collective work, and
No es un PhD que lo tenemos que hacer con nosotros mismos, sino que de 3.
Alenka, te estás escuchando.
somebody is open
Okay,
microphone.
I just closed it. We need to, everyone keep your mics closed, please. Thank you, out of respect for the others.
So we just got to work on your program till January. 300 projects will be offered in 2022. 500 projects will be accepted in 2023. And for 24-25, we accept 1,000 projects. You can come up. Don't forget, we'll have a number of universities around the world going for this. We will set up in 3 years, 2 or 3 years, hopefully, and a second university in Arizona and in China and in Tehran. It's all in the pipeline. It takes us 6 to 8 months to get everything 100% on. We want to start with Austria, that we learn all the what you call the work of it, and then open 4 further universities or institutes around the world. Tehran, Arizona, Beijing are guaranteed. We are looking this time into Africa, and this is how we have to come to an agreement somewhere to do it, and one in South America. We look to complete this 5, but and each one will be financed the same way. 500 million euro has been allocated for the Austrian Institute, and we go through that one. It's the ones who become to do PhD will go through a fee acceptance and then a grant, if the grant is available. Those who can pay the fee will pay the fee. Those who come into the grant to get paid, or as a education's what we call grant, will be done the same. But a lot of researchers will come through companies and organizations, and that's why we've done it this way. We just got to wait till everything is completed in next week to 2 weeks, and then we have the Christmas, and then the what we call the consultancy group in UK will structure us how they do it. We relied on a lot of knowledge seekers to help do things, and we found they come with a goodwill, but they don't have the expertise. So one of the reasons you see we are rapidly moving is because Keshe Foundation has brought in outside consultancy groups. They set up the procedure, they set up everything, and we follow. You will see this in our commercialization. You've seen it in the past weeks in other parts of the Keshe Foundation. And we bring consultancy in each nation, which it is, but a lot of things now is done by the Keshe Foundation by experts. We bring in experts who know what it is. We pay for it, and we get the services, we get the guarantees that what we ask for, we get. Just bear with us. The same is with the CO2 in 5 cities. It'll come up hopefully in the 2nd or 3rd week of January, and the first phase of the first 100 enhancement centers, 22-23, will come on operation by February, and the same with 30 water centers will come by that time. And we'll see step by step. Step by step we need to do, and it'll be done this way. But the researchers, you have to be 3 people in the research group minimum. And you come in, we accept your projects, or you will come from the institutes, and institutions pay 20,000 per student per year to the university to carry out the research. And this is a normal way done for what we set out to do. Just bear with us for another 4 or 5 weeks, because we're going through Christmas, and then by then, hopefully the consultancy group has set everything up the way we want it. We are research structuring as an institute, not first degree and coming to get a degree. You go directly only research institute, nothing else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
It sounds like we're playing almost 2 hands of cards here in a way, or plan A and plan B. I can't see us going, or the foundation starting to build and contract and do all these things only to pack it up and leave, or is this sort of an alternative to the world leaders saying it'll happen anyway, but we may have to delay it a few months? I just can't see this not going forward. and leaving the planet. Will activity still continue if we leave the planet? It seems like there's a two-track or potential two-track policy.
We can't take the whole 7 billion, 8 billion. People need things to do. Space technology will take with no governments. It's going to become collective understanding. There's no two-track, it's a one-track. And it's just getting everybody ready to go. At the same time, governments and other positions will come into it. It's a very straightforward. We are still working on the 6th of June. And part of the 6th of June is the Vienna talks coming, what we call negotiation. And then it's no borders, no, what you call restriction on what we do above in the space and on Earth, whoever it stays follows the procedure as it is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else before we close? It's getting late. Jalal will be teaching a class at 10 a.m. CET time for those who are private students. We invite you all to join. And of course, we have the One Planet, One Nation, One Race on Tuesday, the Reactor Group on Wednesday, and the Knowledge Seekers Workshop again on Thursday. So we're inviting you all to attend, to be part of, and to enjoy the knowledge and the teaching of Mr. Keshe and the various groups and supporting the Universal Council and so on, and showing your work in the Reactor Group if you have some you'd like to show the others. So all these are available to everyone. All three of those meetings are public meetings, so you don't need any credentials or any sort of fees to come into these meetings. And you're all invited to share and to be part of. I want to thank Alex again and everyone else who participated in the meeting. But we don't necessarily have to end it here, but we do want to respect the time of the others. If someone would like to add something or perhaps pose another question, please feel free.
By the way, Mark, there is a public teaching nearly every day from Monday to Friday.
You mean in the
Or,
various language
other communities.
communities?
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. And is there a specific place? I know it was mentioned on the social medias that people could find these room numbers and so on and so forth. If they're not, let's say, a official member of the Keshe Foundation, where would they find some of these locations and room numbers? I know it goes from Iran to Vietnam to Brazil, Mexico, Germany,
If
Romania.
they join the Telegram, Mark, they will find everyday teaching there.
Very well.
Can we talk about the,
Sorry, the Spanish group, they do not sleep 24 hours. They are teaching. Go ahead, please, Jason.
thank you, Jalal. I wanted to talk about vaccination. Actually, I don't want to talk. It's just a rhetorical question, I think. Vaccinations, is there a lesser of the evils available? If I'm being put into a corner and I'm being told to continue with your life, you must have one of these 3 vaccines.
Excuse me, my dear.
Please.
Should we talk about this subject
No,
on the course?
I don't think we should. We've been advised not to bring it up, and it's so hard because it's so big.
Could we then change the name of this group?
what's the reason you're trying to push to change the group? Because you cannot talk? Keshe Foundation has
The
rule.
name says North
Keshe,
American
no,
coronavirus team.
the Corona group is set there because the other countries do not follow the way the Corona group was set up in Iran. The Corona group was set up in Iran for people to come to ask for help. The way it's going, if you go on the Iranian, the Farsi channels, both channels are Farsi channels, people come in, ask for help. Can somebody get me the answers? How can I get it? How to help? How to do it? Brazilians are doing the same. American Corona is just an information platform. You are not handling it like the way it was set up to be done. Nobody needs to change it just because you don't follow the way it is. And now it's become a platform that is used for people to talk. And it brings a lot of knowledge in, but nobody changes platform just because you're asking. The Corona setup, Corona Keshe Foundation was set up, and we still get sometimes people coming to us because the members of the group do not spread what it is there for. If you go on the Iranian channel, even today, somebody send a message in, my whole family is infected, I need help. Is there for people around the world, if they can English, Americans come in and ask for help to be there. Brazilians are doing it, people come in on a daily basis asking for help. So does other nations if they come. And gradually it becomes part of the support of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. In languages, people come in, ask for help, it's there to be done.
And I'm asking for help in order to avoid an inoculation.
This we are not here to discuss. You avoid inoculation, you have to sort out a way with your government. There's no way we are all sitting watching what is going to be done, what it is. We know if we get to negotiation in 5+1, there will be a stop. There are things in the background we don't discuss. But there are rules and we are not here to break any of it. You're not the only one. Everybody wants not to get an injection, but that's what we have to see what is going to be done. If it doesn't suit, nothing we can do. We set up here and we'll expand the Corona teams in a different way. The Iranian channel, the Brazilian channel are helping hundreds of people every day. The Iranian switchboard gets calls. They tell me couple of hundred a day nowadays, or they used to a few weeks ago. And I'm sure it's still the same. The last time I heard about it. It stays on the channel, and here is there people use the name to bring more teaching, more enlightenment, and that's how it'll be. It still stays a channel open until people come and ask for help. We have an antibody, we have all the figures, we're all safe. We don't go and fight, we just wait and see what happens. We follow the rules. We are not here to break the rules, we are here to find a solution for the rules which don't fit.
Well, if anyone is hiring, I'll be looking for a job very soon.
Okay, is there anything else that needs to be brought up?
Mark, I just want to thank Mr. Keshe for that clarification of our purpose, and to say that we stand ready to help all who have a need in their life. Please ask for our help. If you or your loved ones need it, we will help.
Thank you, Jackie. Okay, well, I can take full responsibility if we failed. I apologize for that, but we've been open and I haven't seen any requests of people that we haven't helped that have requested help. I'm sure we could do much, much more.
It's not personal. This is the
Understand.
way the Brazilian and the Iranian Corona team set up originally. They set up to assist. The others did not follow, or a few people did, and some people took it as a place to be point of teaching. The Iranian team aggressively went out, and then when we became too good, we saw what happened. And then the same in Brazil, where we saw what happened to the church and nuns, which are taking the position and are doing it. There is a discrepancy in how knowledge seekers take it out and they promote it and help people. This is one of the, what I call diversity of cultures and understanding. The whole structure is how we spread it and how we support it. In some cultures, it has not taken over. The Chinese had a good run with this, helping each other. And it doesn't stop. I just was on Iran, the Farsi group this afternoon. I just happened to pass it. And there was a call for help from a family. It says the whole family are infected. And asking for support. It's just how we do it, how we spread it, and how we work on it. Iran team, when the group you set up, you announce it, you follow it, and people come in and they support. The biggest problem at the moment is not the Keshe Foundation, is how much restriction has been put on the Keshe Foundation. And there is a breakthrough coming through different directions. Even today, we received a video from Iran, which is called by the Iranian news out about the work of the Keshe Foundation in a very different way, different purpose and reason. It's a 10 minutes and it concentrates totally on the plasma technology. And it's been out for apparently a couple of months, but it does not bring what we see it, and gradually it will come as we open the enhancement centers and the factories and we spread the technology. You have nobody's. It's just the way how each Keshe Nation members have or groups have taken it up to spread it. Governments come to us on a spur of moment when there is a minister or a cabinet minister or a vice cabinet minister or head of a parliament that's got the infection, they come to us, or ambassadors. But they don't apply it when it comes to the nationals. Even this week we had a vice minister and the officials asked us for help. Can we have something from your technology to help our minister? Is critical. Some of you been in the background working with me when it came to help people in other countries or help ambassadors in the past few months. But this is the way it is. Each language has taken a different way to spread and to be used for the corona. But we kept the corona teams because some people are still in some channels come for help. But the active ones at the moment, 0 and Brazil.
Yes, we certainly see that as well. Anything else?
If I could just clarify, I am in no way afraid of the virus. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, it doesn't seem like that is the issue. It seems like the other thing is doing its work. But maybe there's something in these cups that can help alleviate that as well. So anytime anyone has come in the American group and asked for help, which there hasn't been too many that I've noticed, and maybe we need to be more proactive and we're a little bit too intrepid or something in a way. We know the rules apply differently in different countries in a way, and we have to be careful, but there are lives in the balance, and anyone who needs anything within this country can easily ask for it. And the other countries have made it known, and I'm sure people talk, and we've had your video up for a couple of years, I think, on the One Cup, One Life. So I'm not making any excuses, but we'll serve anyone who comes. And I don't know if we should go out and actually promote it, which could cause more difficulties in a way for some, because we are not doctors, but we do know the solution. And I've offered it to almost anyone I know. I haven't had a lot of takers.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Andreas.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. Here's Andreas. I thought about that what you said about the Corona Telegram groups. A lot of them, and I know we use it for all other things than helping people. For me, in my environment, I helped 2 people in the last month, and I gave them everything what they need, but it's the application. And, you know, if I use it, I make it 100% because I just trust in it and I know what it is. But the application is, I don't know if maybe, especially here in Austria, I see that the people what I know don't accepted. And also that's something for the, when I take the example, the German speaking Telegram room, there are so many different things like this. I don't know how it is called, for worms, that the worms go out of the body, and this is for Corona and this, and the people don't know anymore, which really helps now. And they are very confused, and it's difficult to get the trust, or that people trust. I don't want to get trust. I mean, I just want to offer my help, but if it's not accepted, it's difficult. But that's one topic. And the other topic is, what should we do when we have now a Corona Telegram group and nothing happens? And we want to share knowledge. Should we open a new Telegram group, which is about knowledge and preparing language knowledge seeker workshops and sharing knowledge? Should we do the own group for that? Because at the moment we use, and I believe not only us in the German community, we use the Corona chat for sharing knowledge. And if that is not wished, should we open a new group, or can you say general something to that? What I explained hopefully well.
I don't understand what you're trying to make a comment on.
Okay, the first thing, if in the language Corona team group, Telegram group, nobody says I need help. We are
We
just
still
sharing.
keep the channel open,
Mhm.
but people use it now to share knowledge. But if anybody comes and asks for help, it's open.
So it's okay that we are sharing knowledge.
Is there, we said in the future, we'll bring all these to become, we take the Corona off it to become the national language platform, but we got a long way to go that by the look of it. We keep it as it is, and then in time we'll change it. We have to keep out of this situation for a while, and then we'll see how things go. Keshe, the problem has been that every time we announce something, especially the German group, people in Germany and in Belgium, went to attack, to destroy, to do everything possible, and in Austria. The biggest pedophile group sits in Belgium, in Germany, and in Austria. And they used to be around Keshe Foundation because they used to work through Alan Sterling. And with it, they used to bring children into play, and they got damaged the worst when we got Alan Sterling. And these people have lost their livelihood. And they become very vocal on German channels and the Belgian channels. If you do not understand this, you can go and check the internet. These people used to be in universities, they used to be in different channels, especially in Austria, even in Linz. They used to make their income on the child trafficking, or finding people to go and whatever the children were used at the end of it. And when Alan Sterling got caught, they lost their income. And what do? They have nothing else just to sit and create problems. So every time we announce something, they tried to destroy at source. Now we don't announce, now we do our things in a very different way. We do our job, we send you around the goose chase, what we call finding the black sheep. Keshe Foundation has become very wise. What we announce outside for what to do and what is to be done is already completed or is on the track of in a totally different way to come in public. And we leave it this way, and it will be left this way because we just managed to get rid of one of the biggest pedophile organizations in Keshe Foundation in 2 years. In the due course, Keshe Foundation will release the information on it. We keep a very tight schedule. We keep, even when we open the Linz, what you call it, exhibition center, the gentleman who's one of the biggest pedophiles in Linz went directly to the owner of the shopping center. He went everywhere, but they don't know we have a file on him. He's been in trafficking children on the border of the communist line of Czech Republic into Linz, out children, nobody knew where to go. The same came the traffickers in Switzerland. So we try to stay and try to keep Keshe Foundation very, very safe, especially during this time, not even discussing how things will be, how things will go. We put a general knowledge out and then we operate totally in a what I call concealed manner till everything else is sorted. The Iranian situation in public, they have put 2 terabytes of information in the hand of the Iranians, lies, cheats, and everything else. Again, coming from Belgium, again from the same pedophile group. We just washed our hands after a long time with them being embedded. A lot of people ask us, how come you keep on talking about the pedophiles? Because they were coming around us and we couldn't see how. They were directed to come to us from people inside us. We will, in due course, open and you understand how much we do to protect you and your families and knowledge seekers and the rest of it in the background. We did not get involved with the pedophiles. People inside use the Keshe Foundation we talk about the space technology, we talk about the free energy. Youngsters are happy to understand, and they used to, without us knowing in the background, work. Whoever you see has disappeared from the Keshe Foundation in past 12 months, put a question mark in front of it. People who we got rid of around the Keshe Foundation in past 3 years, put a question mark in front of it, and you will find out. 80% of them belong to, and when the bus went, they all went with it. And now they're gathered in the same position somewhere else together. Most of their names appears on the Interpol list with Alan Sterling. We opened the Sterling's book very easily. When he was captured, when he went in February 21, submitted himself, nobody knew what Pandora box we have. Over 120,000 names. 7,000, 8,000 people have already been arrested because of Alan Sterling arrest. There are over 7,000 people in prisons around the world. And all directed right on top of the Keshe Foundation in a hidden way by 1 or 2 people who were sitting with us amongst us and we all trusted. with a long, long history of pedophilia, prison sentences and everything else with it. But we try to keep the Keshe Foundation in a very straight path. We do a lot of work. If you are in a job to support a nation, to bring peace to a nation, you don't go and download 2 terabytes of everything else to try to stop that person. Unless you are a member of Peterpal, a member of Belgian government at the highest level. We saw attacks relentlessly for a year till the judge gave order. And still we see shooting around, thinking is not observed. We set out our way, we explain what we do and how we're going to do it, but we don't give more than that. If you're incompetent, we put the job up, we don't get, we employed a number of Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers which been around for specific jobs and they could not deliver. It doesn't mean they are not good knowledge seekers for what we thought is done. A lot of people move jobs or get employed. They don't deliver what they are, they move to the next one. Doesn't mean the company is something wrong with the work. How come it's bad when it comes to Keshe Foundation? You don't carry the expertise we look for. There's nothing wrong to be in good knowledge seekers, but you can't deliver your job, which is not the knowledge seeker side. We don't fall out, we just move on and bring new people in until we find the people who we are looking for. A lot of knowledge seekers send us, we want a job, we are a knowledge seeker. We're finding that they don't carry what they are there for, even though they've been 10 years around the foundation. That's one of the reasons you see we are moving and we're explaining and we are developing rapidly is Keshe Foundation has started going out. And we are bringing outside expertise, those who cannot be touched by the pedophile groups and the rest of it. In past 18 months, you've seen we do, we announce, we deliver, we go, and we carry on. And if we didn't have the problem sitting with Vienna, a lot of the systems you will see around the world. We're literally stockpiling, we're literally building enhancement units coming in, the head units, the brain units are all waiting to go out, getting done, edge of technology, and other things which we don't want to put out till we see that it brings peace process with it. I know today a number of American, what we call diplomats, politicians are sitting around listening to this teaching because they want to see what is the outcome, what can be done in Vienna, what is the outcome. I speak the word what says to come out of Iran. And they know every time it's spoken, it's been done. And our work here is to deliver what we are here to deliver for, and then we see. Because once the Keshe Foundation goes through this process and come out, nobody will listen to these, what I call a bunch of hooligans and the rest. We had one of the biggest pedophile families in Europe at the head of the Keshe Foundation. All with prison sentences for pedophilia. The whole family, we didn't know. Long-term prison sentences. We'll open the doors, you will see, you will understand. Even those who came into the education side of the Keshe Foundation, we were blindsided. And even Interpol, Swiss Interpol has a huge file on them with pictures. We keep very quiet, but soon we'll open and we give you all the evidences. Go to the police stations, go to the court, go to wherever you like and check. Page by page is correct.
Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.